Hello friends, welcome to Dots of Destiny. This video is about the transits of the month of April. As complicated this year is, with already two eclipses back to back in the month of March in Aquarius and Leo, April and the later months also do not get very easy. And why is that? First and foremost, from April onwards, the major thing that is happening as far as the transits and planetary arrangements are concerned, Ketu moving into Magha Nakshatra. And how much Jupiter becomes very, strong in Cancer later in the 1st of or 2nd of June onwards, this energy of Ketu in Magha is very destructive and it is warlike. The war that we see outside will be also felt inside. And this year, because Ketu will be in Magha Nakshatra till the first week of December from April, this war is not ending anywhere. And some sections of our life will also feel that. That is very important, April onwards. Now, if you see the four major planets, Ketu will be in own nakshatra Magha, Rahu in Shatabisha, own nakshatra till July. Saturn will be in Uttar Bhadrapada till 16th or 20th of May. It will go to Revati, but again it will come back to its own nakshatra later in the month of October. And Jupiter will be in Punarvasu nakshatra till June. So all the major planets is in their own nakshatra, free to give the result in the way they have concocted the plan. So that is why April is complicated. Now the thing is that, see, 2026 in a mundane level will be a war zone. And that's why I am not a great, I don't like this Ketu in Magha Nakshatra to be very true. Though Magha is owned by Ketu, but here what I have observed, Magha is not exactly a spiritual nakshatra unless and until you go through the war. It is like the story of King Ashoka that we had read, that after the bloodshed, you are no more interested, even after getting the throne, you are no more interested in that. So this is the arrangement or the transit of Ketu in its own nakshatra Magha is that feeling. And now literally there may not be bloodshed for you, but there are certain areas where you will be, after fighting on and on, you will feel like giving up. Because this Ketu will have lot of planets coming on to Magha also, Venus, Mercury, Mars and Jupiter at the end of the year. That deserves a video on its own. But as of now, in the April month, another most important thing happening is Saturn, Mars, Sun, Mercury conjunction in Pisces. So Pisces season, as we call it, as the sun enters, Sun Mercury usually at this time, and Chaitra Shukla Pratipada starts our Vikram Sambat New Year, Hindu New Year, as we start with Ugadi and Gudi Padwa. So lot of things are unfolding. Now, yes, celebration is important, New Year is good, but what is the flavor of April? And April month, because Pisces is housing now from Capricorn to Aquarius, Aquarius to Pisces, there are so many planets, there will be some endings which has to end. And the ending will not be a very calm ending, because Saturn is opposing Sun over here, and also later Mars the whole of April. So there will be some some friction going on for the sign of Pisces. And again, a disclaimer is that if you do not feel the video is to your liking, please do not watch it, because the era that we are in, to find positivity is becoming difficult day by day, and that is supposed to happen, not that we do not know that. In midst of that, we have to understand, we have to carry out the things, we have to be brave, and we have to walk the path the way it is. So with this phenomena, let us see how this month of April for each ascendant, how it is panning out. Because in March, as I'm recording it, today only it is Ugadi, and today only I'll release the video. And this is Ugadi means the dawn of Yuga. So the Chaitra Shukla Pratipada is the new moon when sun and moon both are in Pisces. The new moon, the new year, Hindu calendar, we begin it, but the beginning is not very soothing at all. And if you ask me, I do not feel that this war-like condition or the war that is going on will anytime come to an end, and especially in 2026, and it is a continuation. So that's why, keeping that in mind, whatever little positive aspect we get, let us try to find out what we can do, or in what way this April month shows us the path ahead. So jump into the timestamp. Aries ascendant, let us first talk about your Lagna Lord, which is Mars. In the month of April, as April begins, it comes into Pisces, the 12th house. Whatever plans and projects that had been planned when Mars and Rahu was in the 11th house may see some hindrances in the month of April. And your 7th Lord Venus will be on the Lagna and ready to go to the 2nd house in the month of April. Now, so when this kind of an arrangement happens, what is initiated is that there are struggles in whatever you are trying to move ahead with. Saturn is the 10th and 11th Lord, and the Lagna Lord in the 12th house. There can be expenses, there can be health problems also. One has to understand that, as Mars and Saturn are both in the 12th house, aspecting the 6th house also. So if you run that kind of a dasha where a health rectification is required, it will be done. Okay. Next is that if you are running the dasha of Venus or something, some new project, financial thing can begin, and it can get you some gains also. But understand, when the Lagna Lord with the 11th Lord is in the 12th house, some expenses, and because Pisces is the sign of expenses and expenditures, maybe due to travel, maybe due to some other health issues, maybe some loans are taken, some kind of expenses is waiting in the month of April. So understand that. Next comes Mercury and Sun is already, Sun from 15th of March only it is there, which is your 5th Lord. So your name, your progeny, the friction with your boss, your creative things can suddenly go for a challenge. This is the whole of April, and then when Ketu is in Magha Nakshatra from the beginning of April, you will be starting a war with your own 5th house matters. Because the journey is always from Ketu to Rahu, and because Ketu and Rahu both has become so powerful now in the transit, especially from the month of April, May, June, July, later also, but till July Rahu will be in Shatabisha, gains, networking, all these things. You're focused on that. You're focused on the new life, the new you, and starting, maybe you have started something new when Mars was in exaltation. And now the continuation is not easy. So this April month, you have to be very cautious with all the things around and go slow also, because Saturn will not let you go fast. That is a thing. Fifth lord, see, both the Trikon lords, the Kendra lord, your Lagna lord, whatever you call it, Mars with Sun, in the 12th house with Saturn will create a lot of friction. And you cannot move ahead fast at this point of time. And Pisces is not a fast sign also. So some things will be given up on and certain new things will be added. I mean, there is an ending of certain, maybe an idea also. It can be just an idea. Mercury joining will give some miscommunication. Please, that's why in the month of April, Aries ascendant, do not begin anything new. Unless Mercury in its debilitation, your third lord, can distract you and can deviate you and can put you into a very, sudden, unnecessary bad decisions due to miscommunication. As Mercury 12th house, half information, you are thinking something and it will not happen in that way. So that is very important. When Sun, Mercury, Mars, Saturn all are in your 12th house, one by one they come out obviously, and especially in the month of May when Mars comes on the Lagna. Sun before that from 15th of April will be on the Lagna in exaltation, but still understand that Mars, your Lagna Lord, will be in the 12th house till 10th of May. So even if Sun gets exalted, you do not take unnecessary fast forward decision, because when Sun comes on the Lagna, it suddenly feels very confident. It suddenly feels from 15th April, you'll suddenly feel, yes, let me do this. But no, that is not the way. And you have to wait till Mars and Saturn conjunction ends properly, at least whole of April. So whole of April, if you try also, because I know it is difficult for Aries mentality to wait, but then if you try also, you will face something, because that is the strange pull of Saturn and Mars. So that is very important for you. It is not a very easy month, definitely. There will be some good things. Sun will go into exaltation, Venus will go into second house, money and all these things can feel a little better. You can feel little more confident, but still take care of your health and expenses, and new decisions only in the month of May. I would suggest not in the month of April. Take care. Taurus ascendant, in the month of April, your Lagna Lord is in the 12th house and then coming on the Lagna. So, and the major conjunction of Saturn Mars is happening in your 11th house. Now, the trouble happens with if you are running that kind of a dasha, that there can be some issues with the 11th house matters. Communication, networking, I mean, because Mercury will also be debilitated, which is your 5th lord. And there can be some issues in your, speculation, love life with children, and because your Lagna Lord for quite some time in the month of April will be in the 12th house, you may try to start something or try to take a decision, but it will not give way. That is the thing. You have to wait till the Lagna Lord Venus comes on the Lagna in Taurus. That will be a good time to follow through. April and April onwards will not be easy months, because Rahu Ketu is becoming very, very strong. There will be different challenges in the 10th house matters, and that will happen because Rahu and Ketu is in own nakshatra from April. Rahu has started Shatabisha long back, but now Ketu will also be in Magha. There can be some problem at the home front also, some issues with maybe your home, maybe home shifting, maybe with the atmosphere of the home, whatever these things, you can suddenly change your home, and you can feel that if you change or your place, a city, that can also very well happen. For Taurus people, that can very well happen. You suddenly have to move out. But the easiness after moving out also may not be as easy, because Magha in the 4th house, Ketu in own nakshatra, and Rahu in own Shatabhisha is a very big tug of war in the 4th and 10th axis. So it's a Kendra Rahu Ketu will always change the pattern of life, whether it is the 1-7 axis or the 4-10 axis. This is a big transit for you, no doubt. And there are certain areas in the month of April where you will feel like you need to rectify. Maybe there is some issues with the partner also. Your partner's job can see a problem, because the 7th lord is conjunct with Saturn in the 11th house. These things can happen. Sudden networking problems, Mercury getting debilitated. Be very careful when Mercury gets debilitated in Pisces, what you say and what you do, because it is your 5th lord. And also it is your 2nd lord. 2nd lord in the 11th house should be good, but over here the conjunction is such with Saturn, Mars, Mercury together in the 11th house. Gains also come. It can be spent also, as the Lagna lord will go into the 12th house. That can also happen. So it's a mixed bag. It is not totally bad for you, but certain areas can yield result, and with the result again the things can vanish. I mean, even if you get the result, you feel still I am not okay, and I have to go, I have to be even more doing for that. A simple thing, as I said, maybe you are shifting somewhere due to transfers, due to anything. At this point of time, transfers also happen in many sectors, or maybe a job changer. If you change also, still then there will be some things which you feel is whether it was worth changing, because the axis is such, Ketu Rahu, all the planets are in between. Understand that. This is very important. It's a Kal Sarpa Yoga other than the moon. Partial Kal Sarpa, definitely. Ketu and Rahu and all the planets are within, from Aquarius to Leo. So this kind of condition, what happens, whatever steps we take, whatever, and because it is your 10th, the 10th house is driving the force. So that's why it is important to understand your expenses. As I said, you can earn well, but still expenses can be high. There can be miscommunication with your loved people, with your progeny, and there can be sudden unnecessary, the financial decisions, because Mercury debilitated in Pisces is not exactly the Mercury that at this point of time we need. That is very good in a bird's eye view and looking towards the future. Mercury debilitated has a different genre altogether, but not for the 3D mundane level. That we have to understand. So 2nd and 5th lord going in debilitation, Lagna lord going into the 12th house this time, and the Mars and Sun together with Saturn in the 11th house. These all things are quite zigzag puzzle, and you have to go slowly, especially when Venus is in the 12th house, because you know what, Aries is your 12th house, and whenever a planet goes into Aries, they want it fast forward. No, you cannot do that. I exactly do not remember the date, but I'll write it down on the screen when Venus goes into Taurus. I think later half of April. At that point of time, you can take better decisions. Your judgment will be right. So first days of April when Venus is in Aries, I think it's better not to take much decision unless propelled and you have to do something. Then you have to go with it with you should be very skeptical in whatever you are entering. So a mixed bag, Taurus. I'll not say very bad, neither it is very good. That is how the month of April is. Gemini ascendant, Gemini, it is the 10th house now, which is housing Saturn and Mars. That is the last thing we want, right? Now, Mercury, your Lagna Lord, will also come and join here by 10th of April. So, Mercury in debilitation with two major planets like Mars, your 6th Lord, and Saturn, your 9th Lord. Now, this is a very tumultuous condition, and especially within the Rahu Ketu axis. Ketu is in your 3rd house, Rahu in the 9th. You can, or you may feel that you are unable to, this is a kind of situation where Mercury is losing power. Understand that. Lagna Lord in debilitation with Mars, Digbala. Whichever sign it is, Saturn and Mars is stealing the show from Mercury over here. Decisions can be suddenly very erratic from your end, and you can feel totally confused in this month, and especially in your professional area and maybe in your home area. These two. And because Mars is in the 10th house, aspecting your Lagna, Gemini, you can feel very, very frustrated also. I'm sorry to say, but that is how it looks. April month, you have to be very careful in the way you take up the decisions and whatever you do. Whatever you say can be totally miscommunicated. Again, that is Mercury debilitated. You know what? Mercury debilitation, though a small planet, it creates lot of problems. So, a mole out of mountain, or a small thing flares up into very big thing. That is how miscommunication works. Maybe that's the reason Mercury debilitated, whenever it is better less to communication should be less from your part. More, it's better to listen. And mainly, see, all the planets are showing the professional area only. Sun also will be there. All the planets, the 3rd Lord is over here, the Lagna Lord is over here, the 6th Lord is here. So what condition is growing in that area? You may have to learn something new. That can very well happen. Your competitors can overshadow you. That can also happen. These things are very, very much possible, and whatever steps you take or whatever you say will not be taken very seriously. And it will be if you really give a good advice also, or a good decision also in your work area, it will be just written off. And so this is why I'm telling all these things, is that this time is not good for you. This is not good. Professional wise, somehow keep yourself low. Go with the flow and let this month go till Mercury comes into Aries. Aries Mercury sharp. Lagna Lord 11th house sharp. And that will be okay. Not in Pisces. Pisces Mercury is not, it's very difficult for normal person to mitigate through Pisces Mercury debilitated. It is very, very difficult. And I have seen that again and again. The thinking process, it changes. Whatever you want to say, it is taken in another way. You're not taken seriously. Your words are misinterpreted. All these things can happen. So be very careful. Here, I do not see much of wealth loss issues and anything. It is about, positional or that momentary problem where you can feel that a lot of things can go up and down and haywire. And that is the situation with Mercury as of now, as it is with Rahu, and then it is going to debilitation. This is not a good time actually, Gemini, because I do not like Mercury with Rahu. To be very frank, I do not like Venus, Mercury both with Rahu. Even if it can give money, it can give share market growth, anything, but one small problem with Rahu, it can be decimated. So this is my opinion. Take very good care for the month of April. Later, as Mercury comes into Aries, a lot of planets will be moving away from Saturn, and Mars will also move away. Then in the month of May, you'll have Mars, the 11th Lord, in the 11th house. Then it is all these are better and good conditions. Jupiter also on the Lagna. So bank on Jupiter now because Jupiter is in Punarvasu on the Lagna. Because Mercury is debilitated, Jupiter means what? Anybody who is elderly or any knowledgeable thing that you see and then you put it into action in your life. That kind of a situation, if you go through, then it is better for the month of April. Otherwise, any major decisions, discussions, all these things should be avoided. Just keep put and put your feet down and be calm and let the month pass. Yeah. Cancer ascendants, the month of April, your ninth house, Pisces, is housing a lot of planets. Now, mainly it is your fifth lord in the ninth house, Mars, with Saturn, your seventh and eighth lord. Now here, what happens is that Sun also joins. Sun, your second lord, also joins over here, and also Mercury also joins your third lord. Now the thing is that when so many planets are in Pisces, Pisces is definitely the ending of certain things. Some ideas that you had been thinking will take a change, and you have to wait, and you cannot rush with Pisces and Saturn Mars. You cannot rush at all. It's not possible. It is a tug of war. It is a frictional force. Mars runs fast, but it's not very competent in the sign of Pisces. That is a problem. And neither in ninth house. You cannot take wrong decisions over here. You have to inculcate a wait and watch thing at this point of time. And the starting point may be today, when it is Ugadi, Chaitra Shukla Pratipada, Moon, Sun together with Saturn in your ninth house. So that can be the initiation of a thing, because when the Prathama or Pratipada starts, there can be some initiation. Now it can be foreign projects, it can be anything to do with your education, it can be a decision, it can be your work related things, your health, father's health, all these things. All these things, because Mars and Rahu is still now in your 8th house. Now the 9th house decision will see some stuck forces, because 9th house is the house of Sagittarius originally. Here Sagittarius is a moving sign which goes all out, because then we have to go to the 10th house. Mars and Saturn in April, when Mars enters immediately in the month of April in Pisces, it will be raring to go, because next transit is the 10th house. But it cannot go, as it will be over there hindered with Saturn and with Mercury being over there in the same house in the month of April. 15th April onwards, Sun will move into your 10th house. Some clarity you can gain regarding whatever area. If you have to help somebody, if you have to take a decision in your 10th house matters, anything, Sun coming into exaltation is good in the 10th house, but dispositor of Sun Mars still will be fighting with Saturn in the 9th house. So that is why things will not immediately look better in the month of April. You have to wait till the May month comes and Mars comes into 10th house. And also Venus in the meanwhile in your 10th, and then it goes into 11th. It can give you gains. It can, but limited. Why? Because Saturn is always putting a hindrance. Saturn is also aspecting Taurus when your 11th lord goes into 11th. So maybe the gains is also a little bit trimmed. All these things, see, all the planets are, because your Rahu Ketu axis is in the 2nd house and in the 8th house, you are actually managing finances. The battle you are fighting is managing finances, to be very true. whenever Rahu Ketu will come into the 2nd and the 8th axis, whether Rahu, whether Ketu, both in the 2nd house or in the 8th house, this is a major financial overhaul transit, and you will see you are taking lot of different decisions which is impacting your work area. Ultimately, it leads to the finances, that whatever you are thinking about. That is how it is. And Magha Nakshatra, Ketu going from April, Rahu in Shatabhisha, own Nakshatra, Jupiter in the 12th house in Punarvasu. So something newness with a war zone. It's not easy. Ketu in Magha is war zone. I just give this term to Ketu in Magha. Magha is a war nakshatra. All the Ketu nakshatra, this is also spiritual, but as I told in the preface of my video, the Magha is spiritual only after the war. You have to fight it out. That is what the fighting is happening outside also. So that is why this month of April, you can feel a little, definitely you'll feel stuck because Saturn gives Thammana. That is how Saturn is with Mars, because Mars force is very fast, and Mars in Pisces is a little, the force is a little scattered. It doesn't know. Mars and watery sign, whether its own sign Scorpio, whether Pisces, whether Cancer. No, this is not the Mars that we want. It gives, because I know it's my yoga karak, and I know it gives a lot of impediments whenever it is in Scorpio, Cancer and Pisces. So April month you have to go slow, and because I feel from May month you will be taking very fast decisions, as Mars will be in Aries and aspecting your Lagna, and Jupiter will also come on the Lagna. So till that time you have to hold your horses. You cannot, because now see the whatever expenses you are going, whatever decision you are taking about your maybe changing a job, going for a different thing, changing, because this year is a year of change and we have to fight out the change. As I said, this war is ending nowhere. As Ketu is in Magha, it will not let the war end. It can stop for 1-2 months, again it continues. That is how Magha is, bloodshed. And then only you get the throne and sit very nicely in Purva Falguni. But Ketu here will initiate the war. Now it is the 2nd house, your family matters, your food habits, your the people of the family, the finances, how much you can put it into the bank. All these things are being reviewed by Ketu, and you are fighting a war over there, because Rahu is also in the 8th house. 8th house Rahu is very ambitious, and it is making you delve into depth of matters, and sometimes it creates a panic also, no doubt. But then with the panic only, you have to fight it out. That is the thing. Take care of your health and your father's health, elderly people's health. And if you are going to some kind of if you are traveling somewhere, you must be very careful in wherever you are, careful in the sense that your health and the outside situation, because whenever so many planets are in the 9th house, usually it is pushed that you can get some experiences and knowledge, but still Mercury being debilitated, the 3rd lord, the decision it is aspecting, all the planets are aspecting 3rd house. So sometimes the decision can be a little not exactly what you are trying to, because so many planets, the Sun aspecting, Sun, Mars, Saturn, Mercury, all aspecting the 3rd house of Virgo. So sometimes the decision can be clouded and you just momentarily take a jerk, and communication can be misinterpreted also when Mercury comes into debilitation from 10th April onwards in Pisces. So because it is your 3rd house. So any kind of interview, if you are going or anything, say minimal, what is asked to the point. And because Mercury debilitated is dangerous, it looks a small planet, but it can create great havoc with that debilitated Mercury. It is misinterpreted. That is the best thing I can say. So less spoken, better. That is how it should be. So this is the scenario of April month. It is an okay type month, but it is not a fast forward moving month. It will be slow. That is for sure. Leo, it is the 8th house where your Yoga Karak planet, 9th lord in the 8th house with Saturn. You can feel, though the sun is also there now, and first and foremost, health is very important. I am seeing myself also, the health and the energy levels are not very good in everyday thing. So that is the first thing. Second thing is managing your finances, because all the planets in the 8th house can give sudden expenses, and that is how you have to understand where to put, where not to put, and all these things. Because 9th lord in the 8th house, some kind of issues with the luck factor can also be there. Though 15th April onwards, sun, your lagna lord, comes into the exaltation in the 9th house, you can feel a little bit better. But understand, Mars is still in the 8th house, fighting out with Saturn. Ketu on the lagna. Now, this is specially for the Leo people. I'll do another video for that. It is a war zone that is created on the lagna itself, with 2 eclipses back to back in the 7th and the 1st axis. Ketu is a war zone like nakshatra. Whether you get the throne or not, that is a later case. First you have to wage a war, and that is what is happening outside also. Now that is why Ketu do not, it can force you, when situations are, Mercury also will be debilitated. The family and the 11th house and the 2nd house, the people involved will go for a toss. Nobody can come and help you at this point of time. That is also a thing when Mercury gets debilitated, the 2nd and the 11th lord. Your communication can be backfired at you only, so speak less. Lot of challenges, this is quite a challenging month. Not that March was not, but whenever so many planets and the 6th, 7th and 8th house, long before I had told Leo people, when Mars came into exaltation in the 6th house, that is not you don't want the 9th lord in the 6th house, neither in the 7th and nor in the 8th. So it's a pressure cooker oriented 3 months. Now, will Mars give better results when it comes into the 9th house? Yes, much better. But again, the main point over here for Leo people especially is Ketu is in Magha Nakshatra. Now, you have to fight a war which is internal. It may not be visible outside, but it is internal, and you have to go through this process, because Ashtam Shani is also there. If you are a Leo moon, you feel stuck and your energy levels are low. See, why I'm telling all these things is that the negativity should be understood. Now, this is my, see, you cannot say that I'm also a Leo. And if I am telling this, that means these also applies for me. Negativity should be taken in the way that we have to understand what lies ahead. If this is the month of April, and if somewhere we have to compromise with the month, with our health, with our decisions or whatever, then we know that May month is there, and certain fluidity will come when Mars reaches Aries. So that is the thing. Not an easy phase. No way it's easy. Money can come. One thing is that whenever the 2nd and 11th lord gets debilitated in the 8th house, and Saturn, Mars, Sun, all these planets are there, money, there can be easy flow, especially if you're in a business. There will be easy flow of money. Money will come. But the thing is that with that money, there can be extra expenses also. But sometimes if your health is not good, if your things are not working and you're fighting every day, suppose you're going to office every day, or in your mundane day also, some incident relating to you will be in a fighting zone. With the money also, you do not feel too much elated about it, So that is the thing. The overall thing is very cut off. You feel very cut off. That is the thing. And you will not feel like speaking to a lot of things, and that is better actually. Because Mercury debilitated will always give miscommunication problems. Whatever you say it in a different zone, and it will be interpreted in a different way. So all these things are happening in the month of April. That is a thing. And since, see, Pisces is after all a very, it should be a smoothing sign. I mean, it is a calm, peaceful, this thing. The 12th house matters, the comfort, the sleep. But when so many planets enters there, even the sleep process, even the sanity, the peaceful thing is also hampered. That is the problem happening. And this is 8th house. So sudden challenges, especially with Mars or Saturn, that is expected. So take good care of yourself, Leo people, and let's see what later the May month gives a little bit free flow or a little bit twist, better twist to our life. So yeah, have a good day. Virgo. Virgo, the planets are in the 7th house. Yeah, so Virgo people now, they are there are two things about Virgo now, because marriage and career is the your professional things and your marriage. And as you know that Mars is your 3rd lord and not very graceful to your ascendant, Mars Saturn combination in this month of April, please, if you are in that process of any relationship, or if you are in a marriage, if you're running a bad dasha, it can even go worse, because all the wrong planets, your Lagna Lord will come over here, gets debilitated in the month of April. Venus moves into the 8th house, which is a good planet for you. Your 9th Lord in the 8th house. Mars and Saturn in the 7th house, and also Sun joining that. Sun is already there as I'm speaking. Now, why now always people can say that planets are conjuring up to give bad results. Yeah, it is partially true. We are in that kind of a position where the negativity is more, and to find the positivity out is very difficult now, as the situation in the mundane level is also like that. So the thing is that it can suddenly, I mean, you can feel rough. When Mercury, the smallest of planet, is going with Mars and Saturn, not Rahu. Now Mercury is with Rahu in the 6th house. You know, Mercury loves the company of Rahu, though it is not necessary. Mercury is better off in the company with Sun, not with Rahu. That's that's not a good company. Mercury, when now Sun moves away from the 7th house, after the Sun Saturn conjunction, first 15 days of April, there also, this is because it is your 12th lord coming with Saturn. Saturn is your 5th lord. The 12th lord coming with Saturn, you know, there can be some issues in the relationship front, in the business front, in the policy making. Sun and Saturn, they do not fight like tooth and nail. They have some policy issues. That is the problem. The mental process is different. Sun is ego and king, and Saturn is servant and humble. So here the process of thinking can be different with the 7th house matters. That is the first thing. And when too many planets are in the 7th house, and Jupiter is in the 10th house, you know, there are so many people can come and advise you so many things. You do not know what to do. Certain things are done, then again it is coming to a halt, it is broken, it is taking a different shape. All these things keep on happening in your 7th house matters. Another very one-liner of astrology is that whenever planets will be transiting in the 6th house, 7th house, 8th house, you will be constant under tremendous pressure with your health, with your mental health, maybe in your workplace, your relationship, all these things. Because 6th house is what in the month of March you have seen. All these planets in your 6th house. Now it will be in the 7th house. Then Mars will go into the 8th house. So you, at this point of time, even Mars coming into this, because Mars is your 3rd lord, and because Mars is not a planet that, you know, it is not a great planet for you. That is also there. And it is your 8th lord also. Now coming into the 7th house, this can really create havoc, and also aspecting the 10th house where Jupiter is. So, actually, that, and because Lagna Lord is getting debilitated. Debilitated means what is the feeling of Mercury getting debilitated? The houses ruling Mercury, suddenly you do not get help over there. That is the problem. Whenever a planet is debilitated and exalted, what is good, what is bad is that there is nothing very. Exaltation means certain things. Suppose you want to go for a good education. If your Jupiter is exalted, you're given the thing. And now whether you get the good result out of it or not, that is your thing. Divisional chart will say that. At least if D1 has an exalted Jupiter, you will get a good person as a guru or college or what. And if a planet is debilitated, you do not get the bare minimum qualities of the planet, and you have to work very hard for that. Now when your Lagna Lord gets debilitated in the 7th house, Maran Karak Sthan for Mercury, because Mercury does not understand how to fix things in the 7th house, because it is Mercury is a very logical planet, and the 7th house logic does not work. Nobody can win over here. That is the first thing. The 7th house is always a house of Libra. Diplomacy works here. Mercury does not understand that. That is Venus's chapter. That's why all these planets, Sun, Mars, Saturn, Mercury, all in your 7th house, you have to speak less. Many people will come and say a lot of things, maybe for your business, maybe for your partnership, maybe a lot of things. You get totally confused. Speak less. See what others are saying. Do not now put forth your logical reasoning, which Virgo people do very much. Health can also be a problem at this point of time, because so many planets are in the 7th house area. So there can be distance journeys that can happen, but all over, whatever it is, you have to be very slow, cautious, and you will keep on forgetting things, because Mercury debilitated also does that. So be very careful with your communication, your paperwork, your things that can be very forgetful, and it is not a good time. The Lagna Lord getting debilitated in the 7th house in Maran Karak Sthan. So take care, Virgo, and especially look after your health, and the people around you can confuse you a lot. As of now, put all things on, the decision should be put on hold. Do not now take sudden decisions or anything, not required. So let the things get sorted out slowly but surely, and this is not a good month. As I told you, 6th, 7th, 8th houses planets, when they conjure up, it is not a good time at all at this point of time. Only you get relief when Mars goes out of the 7th and 8th house, then something better. If the dasha is good, then better, obviously better, but still these kind of transits, they suddenly give their results in whatever bare minimum way also. But still, dasha is the main factor. If the dasha is good, then it is much, much better, definitely. So take care. Libra ascendants, the month of April will see your Lagna Lord Venus in the 7th house. And obviously the Pisces sign is getting loaded with Sun, Mars, then Mercury, and obviously Saturn is there. So here it is, one thing good about is that when Venus comes into your 7th house Venus is aspecting the Lagna. So I feel this aspect of Venus on the Lagna itself, the Lagna Lord, will help you navigate through the path well. Because your 2nd Lord and the 7th Lord Mars is in conjunction with the 5th and the 4th Lord Saturn. So Mars-Saturn combination, and also Sun-Saturn before that, as I talk, Sun is into Pisces. So Sun is your 11th Lord. Now 11th Lord in the 6th house can give some good progress in the competition sphere. But over here Saturn is there. There can be a little bit impediments also in the process. That is the thing. You may not be given immediately the thing that you want. That is how Saturn does. Saturn is, whether it's a best yoga karak, it is not a very fast giving planet, as we know. So Sun Saturn combination can create some issues. Maybe if you're waiting for a competitive thing, you do well, but still you do not get the kind of results that you are expecting, a notch below than that. Same thing when Mars and Saturn comes into the 6th house, there will be a lot of work, because Mars feels very fighter like in the 6th house, but the sign is Pisces and Saturn is also there. So how much of a fighting spirit it has, it gets somewhat in a tug of war with Saturn over here in the 6th house. New projects, end of some projects and beginning of new projects can also happen at this point of time. Whatever the situation is, there will be certain things that you have to let go. Making that thing happen is your judiciousness. I mean, because Saturn, Venus is aspecting your Lagna, you will understand and take the decision. And then Venus goes into the 8th house also, though in Taurus. So work, money, decision, and also your health, these are the main things that are the focus. Competition, see, for you competition is going to rise, Libra. That is for no doubt, it will happen. Whether it is Mars, Saturn over here, or Jupiter going into exaltation later in the month of June, you will face competition. And if you're changing also into some other, you have a change, you have a transfer, you're going into some other, maybe that office, some other project or anything, you will face some stiff competition over there, because the 6th lord later will go into exaltation in the 10th house. Not as of now, but as of now there's a tug of war going on in your everyday life. You may feel too busy, and you may feel you're caught up with so many things in your hand. 6th house can handle such situations, not denying that. But still, health is one thing which should be very much in your radar. If you are taking any loans, be very careful, because when these kind of combinations happen, the loan may be given, and because Mercury also gets debilitated in the 6th house, some paperwork can be a problem. In the 6th house, Mercury is ready to fight, because in the original Kalpurush Kundali, Mercury owns Virgo. But remember, here Mercury is debilitated. Your 9th lord goes into the 6th house debilitated. Your fortune is not favoring you at this point of time in the month of April. So you are fighting, that is okay. The Ketu is in Magha Nakshatra 11th house. You have your desires you have to fight for. Rahu is providing you the impetus for that, whatever area you're looking towards. The 6th house is filled with planets. Whenever planets are too many in the 6th, 7th and 8th house, there is a lot of pressure on you. And Lagna Lord being also, as we speak, in the 6th house, then going into the 7th house, and then going into the 8th house. So here it is not a easy phase. Obviously, it's not an easy phase that we are in. There requires constant energetic involvement from your end. That is the thing. Sometimes you can feel low with your energy levels also. Be very careful in what transactions you do, what loans you take. Your enemies can outshine you. You can feel, defeated in competition or in verbal things also, because Mercury is debilitated in the 6th. You want to fight, but what you're saying and what you're making sense is, it can be very different. Miscommunication with the Mercury in debilitation, because especially this is the 9th lord. Expenses can also be there due to some of the other reason, because all the planets are looking into your 12th house. So overall, it's a mixed bag. Not that you're getting nothing, you're getting out of it, you are, but there are constant struggles also, constant pressures also that you're enduring in this kind of a transit, Libra. So, and be very careful, because Rahu is in Satbisha and Ketu is in Magha. Both are in own nakshatra. Jupiter, yes, Jupiter in the in your 9th house will give you some ideas, but you know what, Libra people do not usually listen to the advice of Jupiter, and I do not blame them, because Venus and Jupiter are very different planets. But anyway, whatever decision you take, in the midst of all these things, you have to find your own your own peace or your own decision, and that should be the way that is so that the decision does not go wrong. You have to keep yourself a little bit rooted for that. These kind of situations can make a push and pull, because sixth house is Rogrin Shatru, house of competition, and both the planets here, Saturn and Mars, they feel, yes, I can deliver that. Saturn tells do not rush for it. Mars is in a rush in sixth house. Mercury is debilitated over here, and Sun also in the first half of April is over here, 11th Lord. So whatever it is, you are in the midst of a little bit chaotic situation, but I feel once Venus is in the 7th house, the relationship, the partnership, your decision, judgment, your understanding of yourself will be better, and do take care of your health also in all these things. So yeah, that's the thing, Libra. Scorpio, Lagna Lord is with Saturn in the 5th house. Now this is 5th house is like putting pressure on you to make you feel elevated. I mean, because see, the 1st, 5th and 9th, especially 5th and 9th is the one is the prarabdha, one is a fortune. Both takes you ahead, so the thing over here is that Mars and Saturn is in the watery sign of Pisces. There can be a cold war kind of a situation. With whom? With anybody it can be. With your boss, with your progeny, with your love things, with your investments. You are going back and forth and you do not know what to do, because the 11th Lord is also debilitated in the 5th house. 11th Lord Mercury. Sun, the 10th Lord, had joined the first 15 days of April. 10th Lord will also be in the 8th house. Some situation in the official front may not be, can be very disturbing. Or by that time when Sun comes into exaltation in the 6th house, you have to fight the battle in a different way. That is the thing. And all these battles are not exactly on the ground. It is the 5th house thing. It is in your intellect. The intellect is getting bombarded with these things. It can take a little bit of rough turn also within you. Because Mars is fidgeting actually with Rahu and then with Saturn, and the ordeal of the planet is such, it wants to go ahead, and it is being stopped by Saturn in the midst of Pisces with a debilitated Mercury and Sun over there. Sun will come into exaltation from 15th of April onwards, but do not think it is in a very good condition, because dispositor of Sun, Mars, will still be with Saturn. So the exaltation of Sun, you can plan out things at that point of time. Let Mars comes into the 6th house in its own sign, and it will be aspecting the Lagna also. When Mars comes into Aries, then you can be better prepared for the battles ahead, because you are in the midst of a battle in the 10th house, and Rahu Ketu being in its own sign, Scorpio, you are in a war zone with Ketu in Magha in the 10th house. Be very careful in the following months till December, as Ketu will be in Magha. I will be doing a video calling out Rahu in Shatabisha On Nakshatra, Ketu in Magha. This is a very high voltage drama that will follow from the month of April onwards, and you will be seeing that you are in a battlefield in your own life. The battle outside also continues, okay? So because Magha is a battlefield only. To get the throne, Leo is the throne, you have to fight this battle. There is no other way. That is what the president is also doing. But that is the problem with Ketu, is that Ketu is it takes unnecessary headless things. So do not go headless at all at this point of time. Do not fight headlessly. Whichever area of your life is getting affected, especially the 10th house matters, do not go headless about that. Understand that your intellect is a little bit in a clumsy position with Saturn, Mars, Mercury debilitation being in the fifth house. Your progeny can be a bit disturbing. You can feel you have to implement certain things which is not getting implemented. Your love affairs can see tug of war, push and pull, friction. Communicate less when Mercury is debilitated because it goes to miscommunication. You are saying one thing and the interpretation is another. When Mercury is in debilitation in the fifth house matters, or in whichever matter, Mercury debilitation in Pisces is a dangerous thing unless we are talking about esoteric things. It is not the thing for the 3D world. That is the problem with Mercury debilitation. So think about that. Not easy time. I had told long back when in my videos that for Scorpio, this Mars with Rahu and Mars with Saturn will definitely be not easy, and there's no doubt about that. It's a long time. It's a long time, but we cannot do anything much about it because this is how the planets are working in their plan, and we have to follow it, and we have to adjust ourselves in the things. So take care of your mental well-being. Obviously your physical health also important, because in the 10th house area there will be a lot of changes and lot of internal fights, external fights that you will be fighting. So that is the scenario in the month of April. Not very good. Yes, 15th April onwards, Sun going into the 6th house can be little better, little clarity, but still you have to wait for Mars to come to the 6th house, so that now you are in a position to, Mars in the 6th house is a war zone again. It is like you are fighting something, you are in a competitive mode. That is the thing. Mercury, Mars, when it comes into Aries, after this April scenario of Pisces, now both will be in a competitive zone. Now you know how to compete. That is the best part of Mars, Mercury in the 6th house. So we have to wait for that, Scorpio. Before that, take care and let not your intelligence go dull, which is the most important factor when Mars, Lagna Lord, is with Saturn and Mercury in the 5th house. The intelligence is marred. It can bring wrong decisions in your life. So take care of that. Sagittarius, this is the 4th house matters. Oh my God. 4th house with so many planets over there. Already, as I'm speaking, Sun is there in the 4th house with Saturn. Lagna Lord is aspecting the Lagna. So I hope you are taking things in a sober way and not rushing for things, because rush will not help. Here there can be change of place, change of situations. Your scenario can change with the boss. It can change. And you know, Sun, Saturn, when it is in the 4th house in the first 15 days of April, it is about a policy difference with the boss. It is not a clash like Mars and Saturn, which will also happen in the month of April. So 4th house, we do not want these planets to clash, but they are happening. So understand, maintain a peace environment, try to, at home, and all the planets will be aspecting your 10th house also. So 10th house matter can be better than the 4th house matter. Why? Because Mercury debilitated is aspecting the 10th house. But at home, there can be miscommunications. And Mercury, whenever it goes debilitated, wherever it is whether it is with your relatives, whether it is your family members, own network circle, you have to speak less. Because misinformation, unnecessary information, what you say is printed in a different way, it is taken in a different way, all these things can happen. Family, within the family there can be certain issues, or within if you are buying something, real estate, you are going for a change, finding a house, settling somewhere else, all these things can happen in the month of April. So April does not look a settled month at all, because we do not want these planets to be in the 4th house at all. Neither we want Saturn, neither Mars nor Sun. It's Dikshunya. Mars and Sun, to totally the Digbal is lost in the 4th house. So that is the reason 4th house matters over here does not look at all good. Yes, slowly they will move out, and when Sun comes into exaltation in the 5th house, 15th April onwards, you may feel that my luck will support, but understand the dispositor of Sun, Mars, is still fighting with Saturn. So let Mars come into the 5th house. Your intelligence will be sharp and better with Mercury at that point of time. Now in the month of April, it is like just follow up things, follow up, because if you do not follow up, you will lose the threads of it, and Saturn will not make things happen very fast for you, because it is in conjunction and direct clash now with your 5th lord. So your luck factor over here will see some definite hindrances from Saturn. So that is the thing. Overall, Rahu Ketu is pushing you very hard. Lot of Sagittarius I'm saying, and that is not wrong also, because Ketu is in Magha. Now you're fighting for your fortune, own fortune. You know, it's not gifted. Magha, yeah, it is an ancestral nakshatra, but here in this lifetime you have to fight to get the things in your hand. And Rahu is in comfortable position, fighting in the 3rd house for different kinds of, for pushing the envelope. Rahu is good in the 3rd house, making decisions and all this. So very important that these two planets, Rahu Ketu, in their own nakshatra, Shatabhisha and Magha, is making the scenario happen. And in midst of this, these planets are in a war zone. Things are happening in that way. So it is a mixed month actually for Sagittarius, because why I'm telling mixed is that Jupiter is at least aspecting the Lagna, and certain clarities will remain as far as Jupiter aspects the Lagna. But to make the things happen, the scenario is not yet ready. You are still in that push and pull tug of war situation where Mars, Sun, Saturn, Mercury all will be in the 4th house matters. Whether it's your peace, whether it's your hometown, whether getting through a thing, whether 10th house matters, it will be impending and not happening very soon, unless I feel only in the month of May you will see certain fluidity happening in different areas of your life. So it's a mixed kind of a thing. I cannot say it's very good. If you are a student, you will feel very distracted at this point of time. The home environment may be quite not very cool, wholesome for doing studies and all these things. So whatever, but still you are raring to go, because Ketu is there in Leo in Magha and Rahu is there. You'll put effort. It'll happen slowly but surely. Much better results in the much better flow of events in the month of May. Till then, for Capricorn ascendants, the month of April looks like there can be a lot of changes and quite a shift in your life with many planets in the 3rd house. 3rd house is a very active house actually, and recently quite a few Capricorn that approached me, I have found that they are moving to different places and new things are happening in their life. Now that can very much be a possibility with Lagna Lord direct, Jupiter going direct in the 6th house. It's already direct. In the month of April, your 9th lord gets debilitated in the 3rd house, your Mars, the 11th lord, in the 3rd house, and Sun also for the first 15 days will be in the 3rd house and then going into the 4th house. I feel for Capricorn people, you have to take certain decisions, because 3rd house is a decision oriented house and those decisions are likely to be correct only. And one thing is that communications can go a little jeopardized with Mercury in its debilitation sign in the 3rd house. Be careful of paperwork over here, what you're signing, what you're doing, where you're going, all this, because there can be quite a lot of rush with so many planets in the 3rd house. 3rd house is in itself an active house. With so many planets, Mars is very comfortable in the 3rd, Mercury also. But understand Mars is with Saturn, and also with Mercury debilitated, certain fast events can turn out to be at that point, some slip of things can happen from your mind. That is the only problem with this kind of so many combinations happening in Pisces. Certain things are bound to end for you and new beginnings will be initiated from April month onwards. Overall, I feel this is a good kind of because most of the ascendants over here other than you, Libra and few others, it is a good thing that is happening in your life, a change that is happening. But the only clause is that Rahu Ketu axis in the 2nd and the 8th. Now, Ketu in the 8th house in Magha Nakshatra own, Rahu in the 2nd house in Shatabisha. The major concern is about the 2nd and the 8th, the monetary axis. There can be a change in the way you look at things and your generation of money. Ketu in the 8th house can bring sudden disruptions, sudden opportunities where you have to take it up and you have to fight for that. That is the thing, because Magha is a very fierce and Ugra Nakshatra, which will make you fight in the 8th house matters, and 8th house is sudden events. What decision you need to take? Are you taking the right decision? Are you going in the right way? You have to be slow and steady over here, because your Lagna Lord, with Mars will create a tug of war over here sometimes. You can feel a push and pull over here. So wait for certain, a little bit take time. You will have to take a decision. You cannot give it a dodge over here. But nonetheless, it is not a bad transit actually, not very bad. And there will be, decisions will be taken, communications will be done, monetary things will, can be on your radar with Venus now going into the 4th house. It will go into the 4th house, your 10th lord, and then into the 5th house. Certain events will click. No doubt, because in the month of till 18th of April, Venus will be in, if I'm not wrong, in Aries in your 4th house, and then it will go into your 5th house. So some luck factor will also come to you, Venus being in its own sign in Taurus in the 5th house. So overall, Capricorn, this is a month where you see activities maybe juxtaposed with little gaps or some hindrances, some stuck in things, but still things will move. And that is the best part of it, because when Saturn and Mars conjunction happens, many things can go for a stuck. And since it is happening in your 3rd house, there can be journeys. Be careful of the journeys, but you have to take certain journeys. You cannot totally avoid them. So because Mars is your 4th lord in the 12th from the 4th. So some sell-off, some total change, all these things can very much happen, because that happens when Rahu Ketu axis in the 2nd and 8th. A major overall happens for these kind of planetary arrangements. So I'm optimistic in a better way, seeing other ascendants. Rather, I like this combination in the 3rd house. So you let me know later, if possible, that how April panned out for you. Best of luck. You will have a lot of activities to follow up on. Yeah, take care. Aquarius, this is in the 2nd house, the Mars-Saturn combination. Now the 10th lord and the Lagna Lord conjunct in Pisces in the 2nd house. This can bring in, see, it is the activation of the Artha Trikon. It will put pressure on you, definitely. Mercury also joining this situation with Sun also in the first 15 days. You will, but it's a monetary transit. Now, there can be two ways about it. Pisces is also a sign of expenses. Now, there are certain expenses which you go through, and then also things are added to your kitty. 2nd house, I do not like seeing Mars and Saturn with a debilitated Mercury, but the thing is that these kind of combinations, they give money, and that is, but it takes some problem with the family members. That is an issue that needs to be handled when 2nd house is having a high level malefic like Mars and Saturn. What you speak, that is very important. Yeah, because Mercury is debilitated, that speech can go at any point of time miscommunication, misinterpreted, and what you're trying to speak and what you're telling is not actually adding up. So these kind of situations can very happen in the second house. Monetarily, I feel this is a good transit. And because Jupiter is also aspecting the 11th house, Jupiter is direct now. So this can bring in money and a new change in your family environment. And that is ending of some chapters, or because it is a 10th lord, it's the third lord in the 12th from itself. Some change in place can also happen at this point of time. Some transfers, some going away from the family, a little bit, not a very high level conflict, but you can see some opinion differences within your family. So these things can happen. It's a mixed bag, actually, Aquarius. It's a mixed bag. Though this transit is not good for most of the ascendants over here, I feel it can be good if you go with the expenses properly and you can utilize it to your advantage. So from my end, I won't say it's a bad transit. But Mercury debilitation with so much of malefics in the second house can give a bad tone, and what you say can take a hit on others. So that is a thing. And all the planets are aspecting your 8th house also. With Lagna, there is a Rahu. You are raring to go, and Rahu is in Shatabhisha, Ketu is in Magha. Now, second thing is that here relationships can see a total dissolution. Ketu comes to Magha in the 7th house is a war zone. If you have a bad or difficult relationship, that is why the second house is also reflecting. You can totally get separated. That kind of condition can happen because Sun, when Ketu is in Magha in the 7th house, the dispositor Sun is with Saturn in the 2nd house, which is 8th from itself. So dissolutions of matters regarding the 7th house, whether it's partnership, whether it's a coming down of a business and making something else, or a simple separation process among partners, these things can happen. So that's why I said it is a 40-60 transit. Some things are good, I cannot deny about it, but some things are also letting go. That is also very much there. If your dasha is like that, you have to let go, because you know what, when Rahu is on the Lagna, the focus is you now. That is how Rahu behaves. And now all the planets are from Rahu to Ketu in your Lagna and 7th house. All the planets are covering the other part of Rahu Ketu, partial Kalsharpa. Only Moon is moving freely. So that's why this is, I feel, for Aquarius people, April will be quite a changing month. That is there. And some good things will happen monetarily, but certain relationships and bad, I mean, not so good. And but you must control your tongue. That is one very important thing in this transit. Do not speak unless it is required. Otherwise, if you want to save something from totally breaking and it's a blunder, so take care for that matter. Yeah. Pisces ascendant, the Lagna itself is having all this inflow of planets. Now Saturn, Sun, the 6th lord, any kind of, first and foremost, the first 15 days of April, health can go for a rectification when the 6th lord Sun puts his focus on you. That is one thing. Second, now the 9th lord joins with the Mercury. With Mercury, the 4th and the 7th lord, all these planets are forming a conjunction in the Lagna one by one. And Venus will be in the 2nd house and then in the 3rd house. Now Pisces, I feel, as the whole of March month, Rahu is still in Shatabhisha in 12th, and now Ketu is in the 6th house. You had been anticipating some kind of change. Yeah, because that is 12th Rahu. It will push you towards some kind of change, because Rahu will then go into the 11th house later this year. So this is a change that Rahu will try to bring up in your life, and you are with some kind of a Rogrin Shatru, whether it is your health problem, whether it is your problem with taking loans or anything, or just your your professional area where you're working, or any kind of court cases or anything. Ketu has come here to make you fight it out and give you relief from that. Ketu in the 6th is not bad in that way, actually, but Rahu can be very sometimes not the right way in the 12th house. It can mislead sometimes. So that is why the already event that Saturn was there on the Lagna can become a very high voltage drama with Mars going in there with a debilitated Mercury. Now, whether this is good news or not, certain things needs resolution. You know, we as humans, we try to stick on to the old, and we are sometimes skeptical that whether the change is required. But here, the arrangements that is happening on the Lagna pushes you towards a change, and Jupiter is also direct. I don't think there is a problem with the area 10th house, but it is something related to you and your way. If there is a problem in the 10th house area also, then also it is like adding on pressure or more work related effect, and I don't think it is a work dissolution. It is more work that is adding on to your thing, or a change of thing which is asking you for more. It is all on the Lagna. It's not easy, definitely. And I think April month, you need to not focus too much on the things what you get. Rather, you have to be very calm in this month, which is very difficult. Take care of your health, which is also very important in this month. And lot of pressures, tensions, and sometimes it can feel, if the dasha is bad, that I'm on the verge of collapsing. Many Aries Pisces people have told that recently, and I know that is the situation, but how can you get away from him? No remedy works. You can chant Om Namah Shivaya 108 times. That is the best thing when Saturn is on the Lagna, on the moon. But will you get the relief immediately? No, I doubt it, because I have gone through such situations. I know the relief is not immediate. You have to, make yourself a little lighter and not imagine getting too much out of the situation. Situations are not good, that we can see. Magha Ketu is a war zone, and this war is going to end not very soon. So you are also in the 6th house. It's a war zone for you with Rogrin Shatru. But Ketu gives relief at the end of the day. So that is, but from April till December, it will be in Magha. I'll make a separate video for that. Anyway, all the planets are in very high position. Saturn being in own nakshatra Uttar Bhadrapada, Jupiter being in Punarvasu, Rahu in Shatabhisha, own, and Ketu in Magha. So you can well understand all these planets have their own thing to do, and we are just mere puppets over here. Please take care of your health. Any change over there, do not force the change. There will be hindrances. Understand that. It will not be a very easy, palpable change. It is like the smoothness of the process will be hampered with so many planets. Mercury in debilitation. What you think twice. What you say twice. Misinformation, miscommunication, misunderstanding, all these are part of Mercury debilitation. So not easy time, definitely, but yes, as they say, this shall also pass. So yeah. This was my take on the month of April. Hope you get an insight on that. It's not an easy month, no way. Later I'll come up with Rahu Ketu videos, which are very important, what is happening in that zone. Till then, take care. Goodbye. See you in another next video.